of the methods of creating orreries that some of the mechano-orrery builders have been using is called the nested turntables method. In this article, Michael Whiting, Orrery Developments, the Use of Mechano in Constructing Planetaria, he described 6 methods, and the method that we're interested in today was used in the Jovian Satellites orrery. It's referred to as Method 2 in his article. Nested turntables approach uses a number of turntables, similar to the Lego turntable here, stacked one on top of each other. And then they're made to rotate through a number of shafts which are located inside the turntables, parallel shafts, sort of coaxial, they're slightly off-center. And the idea is that you rotate, in this case it's a white shaft, from the bottom. You apply the drive power from the bottom, and then that white shaft travels some distance up, and when it reaches the place where you want it to drive, it's got a couple more gears in the top here. Now here I have a pair of white shafts. Turns out to work much better this way. If you only have one, then there's enough torque and enough friction and enough imprecision and alignment that essentially the shaft will simply push itself sort of towards the side, and it ends up being bound up. It seizes up. If we use a pair of shafts, however, the torque is balanced on either side, and it's essentially all directed into the center of a torque axis is in the center axis of the turntable rather than being off center, and it doesn't bind up, at least not nearly as much. So to make it go, we need 2 parallel shafts located at opposite sides, and this Lego wheel here, the little tire hub that has 7 holes in it, normally used as a tire hub, allows us to have 6 shafts, that is 3 pairs, and there's a 7th shaft in the middle. Now I've only populated this with a total of 5 shafts. I have 4 rotators and one center support shaft, and I've left 2 holes open. But the idea would be that you would have 3 pairs of shafts. So these other black shafts here represent that. At any rate, to drive it, you need to have a setup kind of like this. You have a bunch of idler gears. I have a 40 here that I'm touching right now, and then there are 4 16-tooth gears. Now to get these gears to go, you well, first of all, to mount them, you put them on something like this blue plate that I have here. Let's get the light going. See that better? There we go. And the plate can be anchored in whatever way you choose. I've anchored it in a sort of kludgy way here. I'm sure there are plenty of better ways to do that. And some of the gears will have to be mounted on these off-center Technic beams, the ones that have the holes located 1/2 a stud off-center. Those are very useful when you need them. You really need them. The 40-tooth gear is mounted that way. The 16-tooth gears, the 4 idler gears up here, are mounted the normal way. Here are some of the gears that are available from Lego. You've got the 8, the 12, 16 here, and this is a 24. If you want to drive this from the 8, you'd put it here like this. The 16 goes here. If you want to use the 12, that would go here, like this. And of course the 24 goes 1 stud farther away than where the 8 was. Now this needs to be positioned so that essentially so that you're not pushing the 2 small gears away. You're neither pushing them away or pulling them towards you, but there's a balance, so you're pushing one away and pulling the other towards you in an equal amount. If you if I were to pull this entire blue construction towards me, then because of the way the gears are bound up right now, it would be pulling on both gears at the same time from the outside edges, and that would, again, that would be off-center torque, which would make it bind up. So you have to be a little careful when you put this together. At any rate, this method allows us to put a number of gears out here in sort of in this general area of the model, and those gears can be used to set up whatever gear ratio you need. Now we're supposed to imagine that these red beams here are not connected, and that the turntable is free to rotate in any direction. It's kind of rotating space. In an actual model, there would be a number of turntables stacked one above each other. There would have to be at least 4. You need one as a base on which the first driven turntable can rotate. Then you need 3 that are being driven, so that's a total of 4 turntables in a tower. At any rate, if I were to take these red beams off, and I can a little hard to do with one hand. You will get it eventually. Yes, I need to take that one out first. There we go, I got it. Now the thing's free. So this is the part here that would be driven from the next level up. This is the part here, the part I'm moving now, that would be driven by the drive chain that I'm showing you right now. These gears in the bottom are making this part here move. See, like that. And so there has to be another turntable below that, located kind of around here somewhere, which would be fixed to the ground. Actually, it would be fixed to a gantry of some type, like these straddling beams, the red beams that I had here, so that it can bridge over all the gear machinery. But at any rate, that allows you to have 3 levels of planets that can rotate at very strange ratios, whatever orbital periods are needed. And then you can use methods similar to the other orreries, such as this one, the 5-planet orrery, subject of a different video. Use those types of methods to extract relative velocities off of neighboring turntables and get some more arms on the top, and to rotate the moons. The neighboring turntables to rotate the moons is the way that I got my 5th planet here, this one, to have its moons orbiting. I essentially derived the speed of the moons off the relative rotational velocity of the turntable that supports the 5th arm and the turntable that supports the 4th arm.